Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we will continue our reading the updates of the story about a man who had a fiancée, wanted an open relationship, even though they were about to get married, so he canceled the wedding because of it. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I highly recommend watching it on our channel first to fully understand the story and its progression. Let's get started. My ex, a new T from now on, is seeing a therapist. She showed her parents emails confirming her appointments. He's an older dude with a white beard like Freud. I searched him online. He is married, he attends conferences, he wrote a few books. They are on Amazon. Seems like a solid character. Can you kids work this out? This was the second thing that angered me that day, as if this is child's play and we should just listen to the adults. We are not old enough to be in control of our own feelings, and we should definitely not be the ones to decide what we consider a betrayal you can't recover from. We are just kids and we should just work it out. So I won back some ground on the Dead Poet Society remark earlier, and this is how the day ended. We've known each other for 9 years and have been a couple for 5 years. Even if there are legitimate reasons behind her behavior, how do you go back to being the same? This wasn't even a reset. My way of thinking about my ex has been fundamentally changed. She became a stranger. I know a lot of things about her, sure. I still find her attractive, very attractive. The way she looked last Friday was amazing, no denying that. But it was also calculated. I'm not going to lie to myself here. Hair done the way I like it, dress that I bought for her, the shoes I like the most, a hint of the perfume I gifted her, etc. The journal is on my nightstand. I haven't read it, and I probably never will. I did look through it to see if it indeed is a year old, and it is. The way the page is folded, the ink is clearly older on the first pages, and you can see it progressing through the pages. The pen she used was attached to the journal, and I tested it. It looks like the same ink, and the ink level in the pen is consistent with how much I assume the pen has been used for the last year to write the journal. It is not a fake. Everything about it is consistent with a year's worth of wear and tear. I don't see what good reading it will make me. A tool to play with one's mind. Well, not really. I don't think a year ago when she started writing it, she intended to use it as manipulation. If what she told me is right, her new therapist suggested the idea to share the journal with myself. As for how I'm handling people that are too curious about why the wedding is off, we had a huge difference of opinion that we could not find a solution to, more or less. But if her sister finds out why, and this is more than likely because her sister is very close to their mother, everyone will find out the real reason why. Our parents want us to meet again next week. They told me to read the journal, and maybe that helps. Maybe we can work on it, start again fresh since we have so much history. She will get treatment. She will get better. She still is the same woman I fell in love with, but she's not well right now. They can tell I still love her, or else I would not be so theatrical. Their words, not mine. I don't think I will meet them next Friday, but damn, she did look amazing. I would like to thank the community for the support and help. It was enough to help me put together a plan of action regarding the therapist. Thank you to those who provided resources and information about what to do. What should I do with her journal? Return it, keep it, and read it 90 years from now? Update 2. Let's begin. The therapist is no longer working for the clinic. The major motivation behind the decision most probably has to have something to do with the clinic being sued. Someone else, completely removed from my situation, is suing the clinic. I don't have additional details on the matter. The therapist tried to contact Mel but was unsuccessful. I suspect she found out about my report on her and wanted information. Who knows? Mel did not engage with her. She was blocked, and her queries went unanswered. There's a voice deep in the back of my mind that whispers, it may not have been the smartest decision to put together that report. I find it introduces the chance that people behind the suit may contact me for help and shower me with unwanted attention. However, knowing all this, I still can't keep a very satisfied grin away from my face knowing the therapist is in trouble. To those who have expressed doubt, I have emotions. If this is not proof enough, I don't know what will satisfy you, and I pray to God you understand sarcasm. However, things are far more complicated. I wrote a small update in my previous post about her journal. My decision was to return it, and I was very clinical in my method. The courier we use at work delivered the journal to her that Monday morning. I did include a letter explaining why I haven't read it. It all boiled down to not taking ownership of the situation. I felt that by giving me the journal, she washed her hands of the matter, and the burden of finding answers was placed on my shoulders. In return, I washed my hands of the matter. Honestly, immediately after they notified me that the journal has been returned, a feeling of regret washed over me. Maybe I should have read it. Later that day, Mel showed up at my workplace. She didn't make a scene, nothing like that. She just waited in the lobby patiently. Her plan was to wait for me until I finished my day and then have a talk with me. Naturally, it didn't take long for me to find out she was there. My options were to either send her away or talk with her, so we talked. Several architects designed the collapse of our relationship. Number one, stress. This I knew about, but never the gravity of it. In hindsight, when she started looking for a therapist to help with the work stress, I should have been more aware of the situation, but she always maintained everything was fine, so why would I not believe her? Therapist or not, she still had a breakdown at work, which she hid from me and her family. Number two, I could have been a father. She had a miscarriage, she found out she was a few weeks pregnant and wanted to make it something special when she would have told me about it. However, a few days later, she started bleeding, and that was it. She never told me about this because she was afraid I would look at her as unworthy. She knows how much I want to be a father, and she rationalized this would give me the idea she can't bear children. This idea is utterly stupid. Number three, friends. I made no secret in the comments that we had friends in open relationships, and her on such friend. She contacted Mel almost a year ago and invited her to lunch. She immediately started unloading the frustrations of her failed marriage onto Mel. Her husband has something in common with me. We both had far more partners than our significant others. In my case, it was 26 previous partners. In the case of this friend's husband, the number was a whopping 70. Well, as soon as they got married, he demanded an open relationship from his wife, and she has been miserable ever since. Apparently, the same thing was going to happen to Mel if she was not careful about me. This friend told Mel I'm showing the same signs as her husband before they got married. Number four, those we love are not who we think they are. Our fathers both work in academia and knew each other for 30 to 35 years. They frequently attend work-related events and parties, and they usually go together with their wives. When I met Mel, it was at such an event. I went with my father because I was interested in meeting a professor that could have helped me with my career, opened some doors. Mel replaced her mother because they had a scheduling conflict, and her mother could not attend, or so she was told. Turns out her parents were going through a very rough patch created by her father's infidelity. I only found out about this recently when she talked with her mother about the concerns raised by the friend from number three. This was an obvious shock. Her parents were nothing but the perfect couple, a model to follow. They patched things up, obviously, and they managed to keep the illusion of a perfect marriage throughout the process. Four horsemen of the apocalypse, mix them with a therapist of dubious motivations, and that's how you end a relationship. The therapist was so happy to plan my open relationship. She confirmed everything the friend said. Men like me will never be satisfied with one woman. I will eventually look for more. There is only one way to correct my cheating impulses. Mel has to sleep with other men, at least until we even the numbers. I will, of course, be against it, but that is fine. If I love Mel, I will understand. This was a layered idea. It will both correct my cheating behavior, it will confirm my love for her, and it will strengthen our relationship as a result. This plan would have obviously failed, and I think this is exactly what the therapist was looking for. Our relationship would, of course, not have survived. What the therapist didn't expect was how fast I would react. At least this is my hypothesis right now. The rest of the week, we met on a daily basis and she answered every question I had. One thing was clear. As prepared to end things as I was, she was the opposite, ready for the fight of her life if it meant our relationship could be saved. At the end of the week, I had to leave to another city for work-related matters, and I was gone for a month. Originally, it was supposed to be a 2-week trip, but it had to be extended for another 2 weeks. More billable hours, haha. Before I left, I handed Mel a copy of the therapy session recording. She knew I had it. It was one of the first things I talked to her about when she showed up at my workplace Monday. I think listening to the recording shook her to the core. What she remembered about the therapy session was very different from what was on the recording. I think she finally realized where all my actions and behavior towards her came from. People at home knew about my work trip, and for the next 3 weeks, I was left to my own devices. Minimal interference from anyone. It was awesome. Several people in the comments offered to drink a beer with me if I ever happened to be in their city. I took someone up on it. First time I've met another Redditor. Surprisingly, not a weirdo, haha. He and his wife were wonderful people. The fourth week, Mel came to visit. We maintained contact the previous 3 weeks, going back and forth on various topics, always about us. One major issue had to be sorted out. After our wedding, we were supposed to go visit France for 2 weeks, sort of a honeymoon trip. Neither of us were able to do it immediately after the wedding, so it was booked 3 months after the wedding, and it was coming up. We had the plane tickets, non-refundable. Why can companies do this? We had the hotel reservations. What we didn't have was us. That fourth week, we talked some more and agreed to go to France anyway as friends. I can already imagine eyes rolling as you read that last sentence. France was amazing. You visit a country like that and realize the US is medieval in comparison. When you visit a museum, you can spot the Americans immediately. How to behave in foreign countries should be a mandatory course in our schools. We returned from France as a couple. This had nothing to do with the magic of Paris. It will, however, be a process. We are not back to our former selves. There is some rebuilding to be done. Several things we have agreed upon, in no particular order. She is looking for a new job, one that is less stress attached. Our friends in open marriages are now deemed a toxic influence, and we will no longer associate with them. We both like the name Mel, and our first daughter will wear this name. Thank you, France. Never hide anything like a miscarriage from your partner. I am monumentally pissed about this one. We will get a puppy and a kitten. She will continue to see her current therapist for a while. When we do get married, we'll do it for us. A smaller ceremony. Just us and immediate family. We'll probably go to Italy next. I suppose this is not the exciting update everyone was waiting for. Many have asked for an update. And if you were looking for wrath, hate, revenge, I am sure there is a version of this where all these and more are possible. But as I said from the beginning, I didn't hate Mel. My actions were nothing more than self-preservation at the time. Her actions indicated she wanted something that was contrary to what I thought we both agreed upon. Those worried about her mental state, there is no concern. Once the vapors of her therapist's influence dissipated, she returned to her former self, more or less. It's impossible not to be changed by these events, but she is in a very good place. You will remember she offered me control over the finances, to track her location at all times, open access to all her devices. Aside from the lack of interest in such a lifestyle from my part, they were just a way of trying everything to continue discussion. We do agree we should be open with our devices, and for what it's worth, we have always been open, so nothing will change here. Anyway, as for finances, we will do what we have always done, share them. Thank you to those who have talked with me in the comments and the private messages. There was some valuable advice I received from some of you, and I will be forever grateful. Writing these posts, but also interacting with you guys, has been therapeutic and a very good pressure release. And that's the end of this story. What do you guys think about the whole story? Let me know in the comment section below.